Welcome back to English 314, more on conjunctions. As I talk, please follow along on the pages on conjunctions in your book and the new material that you have. So, conjunctions are often confused with adverbs, as I say on the page. Conjunctions do the work of connecting independent and dependent clauses and phrases with other clauses and so on. But for the most part, these words do the primary work of connecting pieces. So they don't necessarily tell us how to understand or how to take a clause. So for example, with an adverb, that's describing a clause, we are given information about how to understand that clause. So in the sentence, therefore, I will not go, therefore is telling us that what follows is a conclusion of a decision, a conclusion based on some information that came before. So we don't know what that information is necessarily in that example, but that tells us, the therefore tells us that here's what's coming. I want you to understand what's coming as the conclusion of something that was previously said. Now that therefore indirectly does the work of connecting what follows with it with what came before, but its primary work is not to connect the pieces. So we don't have to have that therefore in that sentence. So I could say, I will not go, and that could follow on something I'd said previously, and I didn't need to put the therefore in there. I didn't need to put that word that tells me how to take the I will not go statement, the I will not go clause. But it's nice if I have it. It's nice, it helps to clarify or to really make explicit that I'm to understand this I will not go as following on some sort of reasons for my not going. So again, that's one way that you can understand, excuse me, how adverbs are helpful, but not always necessary to the sentences in the ways that, as we'll see shortly, actually right now, conjunctions are necessary. They have to be there. So that's one sort of rule of thumb. It doesn't always work, but when in doubt as to whether you have an adverb describing a clause or a conjunction connecting clauses or phrases, or words, as we'll see, you can sort of ask, do I really need this word? Usually, if you really need that word there, you're dealing with a conjunction. Now, not always, but we'll talk about that. The next thing I want to say before we go through what conjunctions actually technically are, even though you know this, is to really use your dictionary. Now, I stress that in italics on the page you're looking at, but I use the dictionary all the time to sort of recall examples of how the same word can function at times as a conjunction or as an adverb. But do remember that there are remarkably fewer conjunctions in English than there are adverbs. I don't have a percentage, I haven't run a statistical analysis on this, but there are really not that many conjunctions in English. There are lots of adverbs. So use your dictionary, look at the examples. It's really, really helpful. And sometimes the same word that can function as a conjunction or as an adverb can be remarkably close in meaning, depending on the sentences that you're looking at, and sometimes it's quite different. So we'll see some examples, but let's talk a little bit first about what conjunctions are. Conjunctions are words that connect, that behave in terms of part of speech to connect words, phrases, and clauses, okay? So these conjunctions, these connecting words, can connect in a number of different ways, not that many ways, but they connect in slightly different ways. So the three ways in which they connect words are in coordinating ways, if you look down the page, correlative ways, and subordinating ways. So we'll walk through some of these examples, and a coordinating conjunction connects words, phrases, or clauses of equal importance. So, simple example, first example on the list, I like coffee, tea, and beer. So the simplest conjunction might very well be the word and, coordinating conjunction, and it probably is most simply used to create lists. So I like coffee, tea, and beer, first example. But coordinating conjunctions can also, like any conjunction, connect phrases or clauses. So phrases or clauses in this case have equal importance. But do keep in mind conjunctions do not just connect words, nor do they just connect clauses. They connect words or phrases or clauses. And they can do so in some different ways, all right? So it's really important to review the difference between a phrase and a clause. Again, I can't stress that strongly enough. Phrases are not subjects and predicates, right? They don't have subjects and predicates. Clauses do. They can include them in smaller ways, but we'll see examples of that. But phrases, as defined, are groups of words that act as one part of speech, okay? So that's the primary definition, groups of words that act as one part of speech. Clauses do not act as one part of speech. That would be impossible. Clauses are clauses. They are all of the parts of speech together to create clauses, dependent clauses, sentences, and dependent clauses that are included in sentences. So anyway, going back to the examples of the coordinating conjunctions. Second sentence, Jack prefers either whiskey or bourbon. Again, two items of equal importance. Next example, we can go to the movies or to the theater. Two examples of equal importance. Now here is where, except that we do have their phrases, right? So where are the two phrases that are of equal importance? To the movies, to the theater. Those are the prepositional phrases in this case that are of equal importance. Next example, Pam needs to read in the morning and in the evening. There again we have prepositional phrases of equal importance in the morning and in the evening. Dan needs to read in the morning but not in the evening. Now there's a but this is still just a coordinating conjunction. It's sort of an either or. These are two pieces of equal importance. One might be the case or the other might be the case, right? Reads in the morning but not in the evening. Next one, I'd like to go to the store, but Pam would like to stay home. Here we have a conjunction combining two clauses of equal importance. So first clause, I'd like to go to the store, subject I, verb would like, right? Predicate would like to go to the store. But, and then the second clause, subject Pam, verb would like, predicate would like to stay home. So there's a coordinating conjunction connecting two clauses of equal importance. So I won't go through the rest of the examples, but you can see how these work. So conjunctions can connect words, phrases, or clauses. Coordinating conjunctions connect words, phrases, or clauses of equal importance. Next on our list is a correlative conjunction, which also connects words, phrases, or clauses, but travels in pairs. Okay, so correlative conjunctions travel in pairs. So these examples, I like either coffee or tea. I like neither coffee nor tea. Combining pairs of words, pairs of phrases, and pairs of clauses appear in the next couple of sentences, the next couple of examples. And in fact, what do we have here? He likes both running in the snow and walking in the rain. So in that last example there, we have a combination of phrases but not clauses. So he, subject, likes, verb, applies to both phrases that are coming up. Both, what? Running in the snow, gerund, a noun phrase, and walking in the rain. Walking, gerund, and a noun phrase. So two phrases of equal importance, traveling in pairs. And the correlative, the previous example, not only did you surprise me with your gift, but also you made me very happy. Here is our correlative conjunctions combining clauses. So the first clause, not only did you surprise me with your gift, subject you, verb did surprise, the rest of the sentence being the full predicate, but also, conjunction, you made me very happy. Second clause, you, subject, made, verb and the predicate, made me very happy, the predicate. All right, so Last example of a conjunction, subordinating conjunction. These are conjunctions that connect words, phrases, or clauses of unequal importance, usually to express causal connections. So remember the key distinction here, unequal importance, and usually to express causal connections, but unequal versus the two previous forms of conjunctions that express equal conditions or equal, roughly equal words, phrases, and clauses. So here we have in the examples, I was late for work because I overslept. So I was late for work because I overslept. The first clause in this case, right, I was late for work, is the result. All right, something that's caused by what? The I overslept clause. So you're connecting cause and effect. So the effect is stated here first, but because I overslept gives us the cause. So these can appear in either order, cause and effect. It doesn't matter which way they appear on the page. What matters is that the conjunction does the work of telling you what caused what. Okay, so the next sentence, I won't get up until you do. So first clause, I won't get up. Second clause, until you do, right? First clause is the dependent clause, independent clause, and the second clause is until you do, right? So you get up, you do, is the reason for the I won't get up, right? Until you do. So when you get up, I will get up. So it expresses causal connections. Although I like the book, I wouldn't recommend it for you. So although I like the book, dependent clause, I wouldn't recommend it for you, independent clause. So the connection there being that the first clause is subordinated to the second one. Although I like the book, right? Even though that, the result is I wouldn't recommend it for you. So Pam hasn't been able to find a new job since her company went bankrupt. Next one, do as I do. You do. Remember, implied subject of any imperative is you. You do as I do. The pharmacist can fill your prescription while you wait. Okay, so these are connecting pieces, and notice that you can't take out connecting parts of speech. You really can't take out these words without losing the entire sense of the sentence. Now, again, just kind of a rule of thumb, but with adverbs describing clauses, you often can take out the adverb and the sentence will still make sense. Not always, but fairly often. But with these, you really can't take them out. So, like, take any of these sentences. I won't get up, you do. You can't say that. I like that book. I wouldn't recommend it for you. Now that one, you can take that out, but it's just not as clear without the connective work of the although, telling what the relationship between the two pieces is. Pam hasn't been able to find a new job. Her company went bankrupt. Again, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. What are you really trying to say? Are these two pieces related or not? You really need to know that they're related and how. So you really do need these conjunctions in the way that I think much of the time you can take out the adverbs and you can still get the general sense. But anyway, it's just a rule of thumb. It may not work all the time. But a couple more things about conjunction before I move you on to the homework for this. These conjunctions are really, really important, this part of speech, because they get us really into understanding everything else we need to know about diagramming sentences. We need to understand how conjunctions connect clauses, connect crucifixes, okay? So conjunctions do this. They're the key word that we need. Adverbs don't do this. They don't do this in the same way. They tend to sort of appear above the sentences to tell us how to take what follows. We really need conjunctions to put together the pieces of the crucifixes, the clauses. Okay, so you'll see how to diagram them, not quite yet. Right now you're going to do an exercise that just asks you to identify the conjunctions. And I really do want you to play around with your dictionary and really look at a lot of the examples on Webster's and just get a sense or a feel for how these work differently from adverbs. And again, the difference sometimes is really quite subtle. So I think these are very interesting, and after this we move into diagramming all different kinds of multi-clausal sentences. These are the last couple of pieces we really need to nail down first. Okay, that's it. Have fun with the homework.